Hey, welcome to Broken World Entertainment, and let's have a little look at The Witcher Blood Origin. I just watched the first episode. There's only 4, and I'm really debating whether or not to check out the next 3. But the first episode kind of tells you everything you need to know about the show, and that is that it is absolutely horrendous. Ooh, it's bad. Like, there's nothing redeemable about this thing. From production value, to the look, to the dialogue, to the acting itself, to the story, to the performances, to the sound, the editing. You name it, this thing is pure and 100% grade A dog shit. Which is probably why, as it currently stands on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is at a 38%. The audience score is at 8%. And I'm not surprised. Oh my God, I don't even know where to start with this thing. It starts with a battle that you're watching upside down, and it's the singer dude from the normal Witcher who comes across some sort of shape-shifting thingy bob, and it turns into who appears to him first as him, but becomes a Mini Driver. I don't know when the last time she acted was, but it must have been a hell of a long time, because she is terrible. Like, she is a one note. Oh, whew, she's bad. But it's her telling him the story of, like, I think they said 1,000 years before mankind or something showed up. And the only reason singer dude wants to write it, because she's making him write like this story, is because it'll piss off Geralt. That's the only reason he wants to write it for. But she narrates it every now and again, and like, even that, like, her just meant to be narrating this thing is god awful. She's terrible doing it. Every single person in it is terrible. The story is Henry Bracey wants power. He's an evil sorcerer type dude who is using the monoliths. He wants power. He wants to be emperor. He sets a plan up with the princess. Well, I'm not sure if she was 100% involved, but basically they kill fucking everyone, and she kills her brother, and she becomes empress. But you're supposed to feel bad for her and stuff. But she's terrible. By the way, all the accents in this. So the princess is Scottish, her brother is Scottish, her guards are Irish, everyone else is English, and then there's other weird kind of accents thrown in here and there. The princess, the main Irish fella, and the main character, the black woman, no idea what her actual name is, no idea what her character name is, and I don't care. They call her Elark anyway. They are fucking almost impossible to understand what they're saying. It's like they talk through their noses. It really is. Excuse me. It's quite shocking, particularly the Irish guy. Like, being Irish myself, and him with that, he's got like a Dublin accent. He's kind of mumbles and talks through his nose, and there's a few things he says where you're like, what did he say? The princess one as well, whatever way she has her Scottish, I don't know whether she's putting that accent on or whether she actually is Scottish. But and I put it down to not just them kind of talking through their noses, but I think it's the sound design as well. Because the sound design in this show is fucking horrible. Like, there's a scene that lasts about 10 seconds of a ship in a storm on the ocean that's meant to have the black girl, the Lark, whatever she's called, and the Irish dude. And they're talking. You don't see them. You just see the boat in the storm, and they're talking. You can't hear a word they're saying because of the noise effects of what's meant to be the storm. There's a bunch of scenes like that as well, not where you can't understand people, but where it's just like a few seconds long, and it's just like, what was that? What was that scene? Like, it makes no sense. Michelle Yeoh, of course, is in it. Michelle Yeoh is terrible. And I do mean that. She is genuinely terrible in this. She must be hard up for the cash or something, because to do Star Trek Discovery and now this shit, ooh, but she is terrible in it. There's not one single person in this show you look at and go, they're not bad at what they're doing. Every single performance is dog shit. As I said, the editing, when you're getting scenes that make no sense because they last like seconds, and they may try and introduce something to you, and all of a sudden they don't explain who this is or what that is or anything. It's just, there's the scene, poof, scene's gone. You're like, what did I just see? And then, the sound is terrible because you can barely hear it. The look of everything is terrible. Like, the CG is horrendous. The one beastie you get in it, I've seen better special effects on the Sci-Fi Channel. That's saying a lot. Everything, every background looks like it was painted on a stage in a school, for play. It's just so clean, and there's no like markings, there's no texture to it. It's just plain. Lenny Henry, when he goes into a portal to the monoliths to speak with this fucking floaty blue light, which you can barely understand what that thing's meant to be saying. The effects in there are god awful as well. Everything about it is terrible. And I'm gonna say it now. If Henry Cavill was still attached to The Witcher, like if he was going to be doing a season 4 and beyond, this thing would still fail. There's nothing redeemable about this. Not one single thing. Like, even Rings of Power had something you kind of go, he wasn't bad or she wasn't too bad, but this thing, Lenny Henry, like, well done, dude. You're 2 for 2 for the worst fantasy shows to be produced. There's a scene where the Irish guy throws an axe at a guy who's running away, who stops running before the axe even gets to him and reacts before the axe hits his back, which is funny. The black girl manages to kick the shit out of every dude, well, like with pure ease. And of course she can do it with pure ease, because they went, hey guys, here's the plan. We'll all attack her one at a time. It's, oh my god, it is garbage. I'll have to kind of bring myself to whether or not I can watch any more of this shit to kind of give you an indication of what's happening. I mean, there's only 3 episodes left, but it has one of the most biggest cardinal sins for these type of shows, and that's pure boredom. Because I was finding myself starting to look at my phone and stuff. I was that bored with it. Nothing is happening. Like, 1 minute they're running across these big, huge, open land areas on horseback, and the next thing they're fucking walking. It's like, where'd the horses go? It's so stupid. But I mean, I've seen better acting and dialogue in soap operas than this. It's horrible. But anyway, I'll leave it here for this one because I really just couldn't care less about talking about it anymore. It's so bad. Or with that, I'll leave it there for this one. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.